Hello, darlings and darlets. How are you doing? Today, I'm talking about the big battle between veganism and carnivorism, if that's even a word. Let's talk about it on the other side. So we got this lovely Telegram group filled with lovely people. All of them, without exception, lovely people, except the ones that come in every now and again to put porno on the site. They're not lovely. They're just bots. And so we've got this lovely group of people, very diverse. Everybody in our world, what's very clear is that I don't know of one person that has exactly the same thoughts as me on everything in the world. I don't know anybody. Everybody's got their take. Why? Because there's no truth. We don't know. We haven't got a flippin' clue what's going on. And so we all have different ideas, and that's great. However, lately we've been having a bit of trouble, right? There's been trouble at mill with regard to people who believe that you should eat vegetables, vegan, non-animal products, and other people who believe that's all you should eat is animals. Just eat protein. That's what we were designed to do. And then there's the other party that says, actually, we weren't. We weren't designed to eat meat because why have you got to cook it? Yeah, and things like that. So.
And what they said was this. They said, which I thought was very balanced. They're always very balanced. They said, it's not particularly our area of expertise. But they said, from our perspective, what we're aware of is that everybody has an individual energetic signature. That's exactly their words. Everybody has their own energetic signature. And they said that energetic signature changes from person to person. They said what we eat, it interacts with our energetic signature. And if we do it well, what happens is we enter into what they described as this energetic dance of our food and our body signature working together and doing a lovely dance. Okay? If you get it wrong, then you're dancing, but you're dancing your way to the loo, typically. But what they said was that we don't all have the same dance. I certainly have noticed that when I'm on the dance floor and I'm ripping the rug and doing my thing. And I noticed that it's very different to what other people are doing. Very, very different. In fact, nobody dances like me. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And so they said, because we're all different, then it makes sense to tailor your diet according to your specific energy signature. And not just buy in a wholesale idea of what the correct diet is. And they said, you can do that in many ways of deciding what the correct diet is for you. And everyone has different ways. Personally, I use the idiomotor signaling. I just yes, no, every food. And that has served me tremendously. Personally, just take a moment to talk about me. It changed my life completely. I have more energy. I'm slimmer. I'm healthier. It's just everything changed when I used yes, no. Okay? However, the emissary said also you can just use the system of you eat a food, and they talked about a food diary. You eat a food, you wait for kind of 10 minutes, and then you note down how you feel. Does this food energize me? Am I feeling okay with this food? Do I feel like I've got, I'm much better? Do I feel happy? Or am I noticing things not right? Is this not sitting well in my stomach? Does it feel heavy? Is it giving me gas? Is it giving me acid? If you get reflux, you are mixing two foods together that shouldn't be mixed. There's something that you're mixing that isn't right, that your body doesn't like. Okay? So you just test out all of your food. It depends on what you want to do. Intrinsically, we know what food suits us and what food doesn't suit us. Unfortunately, what happens is the food that really creates a bad reaction in our body is the food that we get addicted to Why? Because we eat it, it's shit, your body's going, well, this is shit and it's doing me harm, so I'm going to release a load of feel-good painkillers to hide the pain. And you go, whoa, wait, hey, I've got this bloody sugar high, I'm feeling really good. And then we get addicted to stuff. So typically, the food that you're addicted to, 99% of the time, is bad for you. So you can, I mean, that's just a general thing. You can take that to the bank. If you're addicted to it, stop eating it because it's not good for you. The wind's picking up. The Ebbersleys also said this. These set diets, and when I talk about set diets, I'm talking about veganism, carnivorism, paleo diet, all of these, where they go, it's like a one size fits all. They said that many people are similar, and so those diets will work for many people, but not for everybody. Not for everybody. You know, it's like the man who went on the fast for 30 days. Two men went on a fast for 30 days. One of them died of sadness, and the other one was filled with joy, with the joy of fasting. Okay? So it's not, everything is not for everybody. And one particular diet isn't for everyone. Just because it works for you and it works for many other people, do not assume that it works for everyone. That's a wrong assumption. And it's assumption I'll bring to your attention. It's the assumption that the medical world uses, the world of medicine, and many other worlds, which is, well, this works for that group of people, so we'll give it to every fucker, whether they need it or not. Right? That's not the way. It's not the way that we want to be. That's not the road that we want to travel on. I have been involved in various kinds of what I would call cults in my life. I've been in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Then I came out of the Jehovah's Witnesses and I went into network marketing, another cult. Then I came out of that cult and I moved back into the cult of society. And then I woke up and I moved into the cult of the truth movement. Okay, so I've been in a lot of cults and probably I've been in a lot more that I'm not aware of. But I've also observed a lot of cults, and I've observed the cult of veganism. I've observed the cult of carnivorism. I've observed the cult of the Atkins diet, because the Atkins diet was the first one that came out a long time ago. I've observed the cult of the raw vegan. And what I see is this, the same pattern, which is, this is the right way to do it. If you're doing it any other way, you're a twat. Okay? That's when people are fully ensconced in the cult. Right? The people who aren't, who do that diet because it makes them feel wonderful, they're the ones that say, I do this diet and it's wonderful. If you're interested, ask me about it. And I'll tell you all about it. Okay? The ones who are in the cult are the ones who get upset if anyone attacks the diet. Right? That's how you know you're in a cult. Right? Look, the people who are in the cult of society, you talk negatively about their society, they will attack you. They will be very upset. Okay? Talk about their beliefs, they will attack you. And it's the same. If you feel attacked because somebody is criticizing your diet, you're in a cult. Okay? Let me explain. So when I was an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I still am, when I left the Jehovah's Witness cult, right, I still was in a cult, but I was in the cult, oh yeah, that one as well. I was in the cult of ex-Jehovah's Witness, right? And that's a cult in and of itself. Sometimes more vociferous than the actual Jehovah's Witnesses. They're even more miserable, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, like the cult of ex-Jehovah's. They're really miserable and they complain all the time. All they do is moan. Yeah. So, I was one. All right. So I fell into that trap. So I would do videos about Jehovah's Witnesses and about the religion and stuff like that. And people would put horrible comments. And I would get furious and I would be, how dare you? You need to know. Stop supporting them. They are a cult, blah, blah, blah. And in some therapy that I was doing, a therapy share with a guy, he said, I notice on your videos that you kind of get into an argument with people who are criticizing your take as an ex-Jehovah's Witness. And I said, I do, yes. He said, I might look at that. If I were you, I would look at that. Because, you see, if somebody said to me, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are this, that and the other, I would say, well, that's your opinion, but well, I'm not really invested in that. Or if they said, Jehovah's Witnesses are this, and I would say, well, okay, but that's your opinion. I've got a different one. He said, that is when you know you're detached, and you're not. You've got an attachment. And from that day, I worked on it. And now if somebody complains about Jehovah's Witnesses, I'll say, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And if they complain about me being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I say, well, I disagree with you. But I don't want to argue with them anymore. Because when you've got that link, you're in the same boat, you're just on the other side. Does that make sense? So if you find yourself arguing about your particular lifestyle, your beliefs or whatever, arguing and getting upset, then you're too attached to them. If you can talk about your beliefs and, debate, nothing wrong with a debate. I love a debate. I love a mass debate when a lot of people are involved in it. Yeah. But arguing, we're in the wrong group. You're in the wrong group. You're too attached. But why do we do it? Why do we tell people? Well, I believe that it's for good reasons. All right, yes, it's very egoic to believe that you're right. Okay, there's that side of it. I believe I'm right and you're wrong. But I think most people do it for these reasons. They want to help. They've seen what it can do to them, the benefits that they've got from this particular lifestyle, whatever it is. And they want to tell everybody about it, shout it from the rooftops. And that's lovely. And I understand that. However, there's a downside to it. I've lived it. When I started doing therapy, I wanted to do therapy on everybody. I forced them to do therapy. I forced myself on people. And I know they were doing therapy with me, but they didn't want to. Did it work? Probably not. They're thinking, well, thank God for that. That's over. I forced it on people, my beliefs, my ideals. And that's not the way that it works. The way that it works is this, if I understand it correctly. What you have to do is do what you want to do and do it well and shine and absolutely shine. Be an example. Be the best example you can be. What happens is this, when you are absolutely on your top game and you're looking well and fantastic, the people who want to know what you've done will ask you. And the people that don't want to know what you've done won't ask you. And the ones who ask you, you tell them. And the ones that don't ask you, you don't tell them. God, am I still learning that? But the amount of times that I've had fat people, right, and I use that word not lightly, I use that word heavily, telling me that I don't eat properly. Okay? I've had people who were sick, ill, telling me that what I eat is not good enough. It's not good. You're not getting what you need. And I always think, right, if somebody who's totally on form, muscle builder, comes and tells me what I have to eat to improve, I'll listen. Boy, well, somebody who's really well, I'll listen to them. But somebody who's ill and fat tells me what I have to do, then I'll listen to them so I could do the opposite. That's typically the way that I think. What do you think I should do? Well, I won't do that. What's the opposite number of that? I'll do that. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who don't want to know because they feel so bad about what they're doing. They don't want you to tell them how to do it right because it's better that they live in ignorance, if you understand. It's better that they don't know. Don't tell me, so I don't know, and then I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to feel even worse about the fact that I'm not doing it. And so that's why it's not fair to try and thrust onto other people what you do. Do it well. And remember, at the end of the day, we are all we've got. Right? We are not responsible for the rest of mankind. We're truly not, even though I've spent my whole life living as though I were. But we're not. We're not responsible for them. We're not here to cure the world. Heal the world, make it a better place. No, Michael Jackson wanted to do that. And look what happened to him. We're not here for that. We are here to go inwards, to do our journey inwards to the very core of ourselves, make ourselves wonderful, and then bugger off back to God. That's our job. Okay? So there you are. That's the emissary's take on it. It's personal. Personal energetic signature. And pay attention to that. Do your own testing. Test yourself. Find out. Do the ideomotor signaling. I've done videos on it. It's great. Only if you want to, though. What do you think? What do you think about what I said? Do you think I'm being fair, unfair? Have you got a take on it? What do you think? I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.